Hey, it's Shawnee in the back with the episode of Shawnee's Lab. So, let me tell you how I put on my jewelry just to go to the bodega, right? So I get dressed, I go out, I go to the bodega or whatever. And as I'm coming back, I put in my door code a couple times. And I realized I kept putting the wrong passcode in. So while I set my alarm off, meanwhile, neither one of my roommates are here to let me in. So I'm just like, I had to sit outside for like 10 minutes while the system rebooted. I'm like, damn. So anyway, without further ado, I'm back with another episode of Shawnee's Lab, and today we're doing American Horror Story double feature season 10, episode 7. Now, first of all, bitch, I'm upset. How they just gonna end the last episode how they did, with the chemist taking the baby. We don't know what the hell happened to Ursula and the daughter. The town of LA is in fucking shambles. And we just switch over to a whole new time, a whole new season, a whole new future. Like, Pourquoi? I was like, huh? I'm like, nah, I knew it was gonna be like a double feature, so it was gonna be like 2 seasons within one, but I was like, that was kind of fast. And then I'm also like, how they not gonna end the other season first? Like, how y'all just gonna do that to us? But anyway, without further ado, I guess they felt that it was appropriate, you know. But yeah, so anyway, let's get this review started. So I feel like hold on, I need to find my notes. I feel like I was prepared for this, and then now I can't find my notes. Oh, here we go. Okay. Because I was confused. I'm like, where's me notes? So this episode starts off, so we're in 1954. Dwight Eisenhower is president. Okay. And a woman is listening to her records while her child is, outside riding his bike. It's just a normal, typical day in Albuquerque, New Mexico in 1954. Nothing going on. Everything is cool. It's copacetic. So while her child is riding his bike, apparently this like weird looking storm happens. It kind of looks like a tornado, but it's not really. It's more so, like an alien spacecraft, just making all of this wind and noise and chaos. But it like kind of resembles like a tornado. I'm like, what in the Wizard of Oz is going on here? So the mother is in the house frantic, and she calls and yells for the boy. She goes to the phone. She tries to save him. She's like, no, my son. I think the boy's name was Timmy or something like that. So yeah, she goes out and she tries to save him, but she fails and he's gone. So then she runs back in the house. So then she noticed time's going backwards, like the clock is going back, the lights are flickering, shit is just going wild. So then she just flows up against the wall. So she just stuck up against the wall, like how in the third season with the witches, how they could throw somebody against the wall or hold them up against. It's kind of what she was doing, like she was held up against the wall. So then her son returns in the house, and he's like, "Take my hand, don't be afraid, mommy." And he sounds kind of like possessed, or like his voice sounds like kind of pitched, like it sounds digital. I guess that's how they imagine aliens would sound. Go figure. So then, with all that going on, I can already tell that she kind of already got possessed, because before she ran out to try to save her son, she had got like the glow in her eyes too, so that was weird. So then later on, her husband returns, la-di-doo-doo-dee-doo, from a long day of hard work in the 1950s. He's like, I'm hungry. I don't know how he didn't notice that, the outside, or just the outside of his house was, like windows should have been bust. Like from all that commotion that went on, I definitely saw a few windows bust. I'm like, he didn't see that. So he comes home like, I'm hungry. To, his wife, is just the sun is nowhere to be found, but the wife is in mid-air floating, with this weird, white glowish in her eye. And he's like, Maria, what's going on? Hey. He's like, hey, girl. Hey. Where's dinner? Where's Timmy? What's going on? What's going on, Maria? Like, he got looking nervous. I'm like, first of all, once I would have saw her floating in the air, I would have ran like, homeboy, I don't like, bro, what was you doing? As soon as you saw her floating in the air, you should have been out. I would have been going, skirt. You would have never saw nobody skirt the way I would have skirted. If I would have came home, my wife is fucking floating in the air, my son is going, I'd have been like, nope, nope, nope. So then, you know, as he's freaking out, the wife just like she used telekinetic powers or some sort, whatever. But she did this, and his head blew off, and you know, my man's going, he dead, and you know, that was it for the little suburban, you know, white is right, all all white family in America in the early 1950s, you know. So yeah, that was an interesting, like definitely the beginning was an interesting bang. So then, the president is out playing golf. You know, I told you, Eisenhower is president now. Of course, because it's 1954. So, you know, we're still in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The president is out playing golf, and they inform him that something has been shot from the sky or something fell from the sky or whatever have you be. Now, y'all, I had to watch this episode 3 times because a lot happened, but then a lot didn't. But then, like, it was kind of like really slow pace, and like it was really easy to miss a lot of stuff because I'm telling you, I watched this 3 times, and each time I had to re-add, delete, add, and delete to my notes. I'm like, damn, how did I miss that, or how did I miss when they said that? But this episode, you know, I'm like, I guess they, to make up for just leaving us on a skirt with the last, you know, the early part of the season, they figure, you know, I guess we'll jam pack these episodes so that people will be, you know, like, what the fuck, and they'll, you know, totally forget about the fact that we just skirted them, you know, on the earlier part of the season. So anyway, the object that was shot out of the sky, it cannot be identified. However, they find a dead body, you know, burned by the crash, you know, inside of it. They show it to the president, and he's like, it looks like a child. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, how do they know that it's a child? I'm like, and then even when they showed the body, like, it was kind of long, but then again, it was an alien form. And first of all, can I just say, what is up with Hollywood and, you know, their version of what an alien looks like? I don't think that if there, well, I do believe there's other life forms out there, you know, and, you know, other, you know, on other, what they call them, other planets, whatever. But I don't think that that's what they would look like. I don't know why Hollywood has, like, they made that image around like the 1950s, and for whatever reason it's just stuck. And I'm just like, do we really believe that's what aliens would look like? Like, it just looks stupid. It's not even scary, honestly. It just looks like, you know, creation. Like, you know, somebody had fun, you know, they had an idea, they drew it, and then it was just like, oh no, now this is actually the poster for, you know, what aliens look like. Sidebar, sorry y'all, but anyway, I just hate that. So anyway, yeah, they found the dead body and showed it to the president. He's like, it looks like a child. So then they take it back to the base, and the president orders the area to be secured. Now, this area is officially known and presently known as Area 51, but at the time, it wasn't. You know, they secured the area, they locked it down. They're like, oh shit, what is this? What's going on? We need to investigate. What the fuck? You know, so the president was like, we need to study this. Like, you know, he's like, I want to know why this is here. Like, I need to know why this identified object is here. So they go and find a woman, and she's hiding behind like a tree of some sort. She's naked with strange marks on her back. You know, it's like kind of look like tattoos, but it's not really. It's kind of like it kind of looks like language or code marking, but it's like all over her back or whatever. And they ask her who she is, and she tells them she's Amelia Earhart. Now, those of you not familiar with Amelia Earhart was like one of the first women, you know, to fly a plane. She also, you know, she had a mission where she wanted to fly across the world or something like that. And I remember she just didn't come back. And this was in 1937. So Amelia Earhart disappeared in 1937, you know, somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle. Now, it's commonly referred to or known that she either, you know, her plane crashed, or, you know, she got caught up in some sort of storm. But, you know, American Horror Story, you know, because we don't actually know what happened to her, this is another great addition to where they add a historical figure, you know, and give it that element, or give it, you know, kind of like a new kind of spin or story or to what could or what may have happened to Amelia Earhart, because her might have been abducted by aliens is actually really interesting. So that's why I said, like, they definitely knew they were doing with this first episode. Like, you know, had this episode not been interesting, we still would have been like, no, what about the skirt y'all just did with the earlier half of the season? I would never forgive them for that skirt, just so we know, just so we clear. The skirt was not cool, American Horror Story. The skirt was not cool. So the president is, you know, in the room, you know, with the so-called Amelia Earhart, and he's questioning her, and he asking her about the marks on her arm. And she was saying how, you know, one day she was flying, she was on the phone, you know, with she was on the phone with, I guess, like, you know, her dispatcher, the guy or whatever. And, you know, when she's flying, then she's like, you know, and she was like, it just felt like we flew into the sun, you know. We went right into the sun. And I'm like, went into the sun? Like, she was basically describing, you know, feeling like she went into some sort of light or some type of weird avenue, but she didn't die. Of course, you know, because she's claiming to be her. So the president was like, you know, well, what about the marks? And she's like, you know, they came from needles. She was like, they took her blood, they to put things in her, take things out of her. And the president is like, who? Who is doing these things? Who did these things to you? And then as soon as the president asks who did it to her, she loses her memory. She goes wild. The president is escorted out and they sedate her. And it was just like, oh. Like, she started going wild. She's like, who are you? Let me speak to such and such. What is this? Where am I? And he's like, what? So Secret Service is like, sir, we're going to have to escort you out of here. You know, bitch is going crazy. We can't have this. You know, Secret Service be all over it. So the president strongly believes that somebody or her. He's like, you know, what if she really was, you know, abducted, you know, by this, you know, because apparently she looks just like her, you know. Again, you know, of course, this is the actress playing someone, but you know, the president's like, no, this really looks like Amelia Earhart. And you know what? I question where Ryan Murphy and the writers and the creators came up with this season, this idea, this story for the aliens. Because we've always wanted a good alien storyline, you know, since they, you know, mentioned the aliens, but we've never got a proper alien storyline. And now we finally have a whole half of a season based off the aliens. And I'm like, did they read some documents? Like, where did they get the story from? Because it seems all too kind of like how this beginning, how Area 51 began, like something unexplained showed up, it crashed. They studied it, weird stuff started happening, so they had to keep it on lock in order to, I guess, either not scare the American people or to just simply keep, you know, the secret for themselves so that, you know, everyone is not privy to, you know, what they found. Like, it's very interesting. Like I'm telling y'all, the first half of the season is about, you know, drugs created by mad scientists, you know, who study and work with the government. And now we're in earlier times, you know, early Americas, well, not early Americas, not early Americas, but, you know, the 1950s in America. And, you know, we're dealing with, you know, the alien presence in Area 51, which has always been talked to and always been heavily regarded as, you know, something weird and strange and, you know, not explained. This is a great way to say it. It's not explained. Like, it's fully not explained what Area 51 was, you know, what happened, you know, and why the documents and everything is so sealed. So it's interesting. So anyway, so as the president is out in the hallway talking to Secret Service, one of the doctors comes out and was like, yeah, so she's 2 months pregnant. And I was like, blah, 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 blah. She, what? I'm like, so not only was she abducted by aliens, but they implanted a seed, a baby in her. And I was just like, and again, I missed this in the beginning. When I watched the episode 3 times, the first 2 times I missed that part. I never even heard or, you know, realized that she got pregnant. The first time I was chilling with I ran into a childhood friend, so we was chilling and we was watching it together. The second time I was too busy being fat and eating. And the third time I was like really paying attention. So I'm like, I'm glad I watched it 3 separate times, you know, and edited my notes because I would have missed a lot. But yeah, so anyway, they found out Amelia is 2 months pregnant. So then they go down the hall and they begin, you know, working on the body, you know, that the alien form body that they found. And as they try to cut it open, this like kind of plasma weird alien thing kind of jumps onto one of the scientist's face and sucks a hold of him, and then his head blows off. And then, yeah. So security is alarmed, and then everyone runs out in the hall, Secret Service and the president. And I'm just like, why are they making the president seem so tough? Like, if something like this really happened, you know, the president would not have ran out, you know, to see what was going on. Secret Service and security, whoever would have went out to check. Somebody would have stayed with the president and made sure he was safe and sound. Of course, this is TV, but I'm just like, it ain't no way you would have ran out there after just seeing what you just seen. It just ain't no way. Because I wouldn't have. I'd be like, yeah, this is your job. Y'all got that. I'm supposed to be protected. Do your thing. Like, I wouldn't have ran out there. So it's none other than Maria, who is, you know, the wife of the family from earlier where her son was abducted by the aliens, or, yeah, and then she was possessed by aliens and then she murdered her husband. So it's her in the hallway blowing up people's heads and blowing up the hallway, you know, or whatever. And the president is like, hey, I'm the president of the United States. We already have a lot of issues going on. We already have a lot of, you know, a lot going on, you know, like, please stop the killing. What are you doing? He's offering her, like, you know, a peace treaty. He's like, please stop what you are doing. Stop. So he's like, could you please stop the killings? And she's like, no, you will listen to me. And then it was just like, oh, okay. So then we get into current day. So the episode skips along, and now we in current day, and we meet college student. We meet what was like 4 college students. They're all friends apparently. One name is Kendall, one name is Troy, one name is Jamie, and I feel like, and Kendall. It's Troy, Jamie, and Troy, Jamie, Kendall, and I'm forgetting the other girl, but it's 4 friends, and apparently the 2 guys are fucking, they're recently found out they was gay. One of the guys has the cocaine obsession, but they're all like, Yale, Harvard, students, they're young, smart, of course, and they all seem, to have it all going on for each other. I mean, going on for each other, that too, but going on, they all have it going on like they're doing their thing, is what I was trying to say. So the students / friends, I'm guessing, decided to take a trip, and they had like this desert / beach or whatever. And I'm not sure if this is in Area 51 or, whatever, because it was never clarified, but it looks like they're in there some sort of area. So they find a dead bull, and they're like, oh my God, there's a dead bull, but there was no blood. Like, it was like ate up, but there was like no blood around it. And they're like, how did this get here? Like, what happened? Why is there no blood? And then, they like go near it, and it starts making noise. So it's kind of like still alive. It hasn't fully died yet. So they all run off screaming. So now they're in a car. They pack up. They driving away. And the car breaks down, of course, just they luck. And then this bright white light comes, the radio, of course, starts making the weird sounds. The car lights are flickering. And an alien, of course, with the alien form body, is walking towards the car, It has tentacles, and it's like going through all the car and touching all of them, with its tentacles. And I'm like, this is kind of like an alien octopus. Like, it's kind of interesting that they gave it that kind of foot. It's like an Ursula. It's like an alien, but also an octopus. Let me find out it's Ursula in disguise. I thought Ariel killed you, Ursula. Ursula's still here, y'all. So anyway, then they all wake up and everybody's fine, However, they're missing, Jamie. Jamie's not in the car. This is the black girl. They like, okay, everybody's cool, but where's Jamie? So, they're about to pull off to go, I guess, to go see if they can find her. And then they almost hit her, so then they stop. And they were like, oh my God, why weren't you in the car? She was like, I don't know. I woke up out here. And they like, how did you get out of the car? So they put her back in the car, and then they drive off. And then, Kendall was on the phone, with her brother or whomever this is. And she's like, I think I may be pregnant. And he was like, it sounds like you guys all hallucinated. Like, there's no way you were abducted. And she's like, no, I think we were abducted by aliens. And then she was going over, like, she was telling him about certain cases and stuff that, she remembered, hearing about from the 1950s, which is, of course, was the first part of the episode, was taking place in the 1950s, but now we're in current day. So she's like, can I just borrow, the laptop so I can Google this or whatever? And he's like, sure, but I think you guys are all, over-exaggerating or whatever. So meanwhile, the gay couple is in their bedroom talking about eating ass, and I'm just like, so that was happening. That was the actual part of the episode. And then, one of the gays get up and throws up, so it felt like, and then it was in the morning time, so like morning sickness. So then the gang all gets together, and the girls are like, listen, we're pregnant. And they're like, what? And then the guys are like, well, we've been having, like weird cravings and all that kind of stuff too. So then she's like, oh my God, you guys are gonna be pregnant as well. And he's like, I don't know. And so the men take pregnancy tests as well. And so then we find out that all 4 friends are pregnant. So when they were abducted, or, confronted, by the alien or whatever, they all were impregnated, including the men. And I was just like, and then the episode went off. So y'all, like, if you haven't gotten to the season, fucking get into it. You're going to be pissed that the first half of the season has nothing to do with what's going on now. However, this first episode, season 7, Take Me to Your Leader, season 10, American Horror Story Double Feature, was it. I mean, this review is kind of long, sorry about that. I had to tell my little story in the beginning. I plan to do more videos with my hair down, but I just feel more comfortable, with the ponytail. I call it my left eye. Let me know how y'all like it. If you don't like it, if it looks too girly, I don't think it looks girly. I definitely, it's my shout out to left eye though. And it's just less hot, even though I got the air on here, it's less hot when I wear it like that. But anyway, this was American Horror Story Season 10, Episode 7, Take Me to Your Leader. What you think? Let me know in the comment section.